So I wanted to talk about Pax Victoria, the album that I just brought out in January, because we worked on it for more than a year, and it was an album that contained a lot in it. It was a concept album, and I care a lot about music, and I care a lot about what music I put into the world. So I wanted to not just brush over this and move on to the next project, but just talk about some things that went on. And I'll start off by saying that the title of the album, Pax Victoria, is the title of the album is a translation of the name Siegfried, and Siegfried is a name, but it's also the name of one part of Wagner's amazing work, The Ring. So that was a gesture of respect towards that music. And if you haven't listened to The Ring, you really should listen to it. It's, in my opinion, beautiful, beautiful music. And so that's the first thing. I was excited when we came to that idea to use a translation of Siegfried as the title. Yeah, secondly, I felt like I couldn't go outwards and say, oh, I'm working on an album until I had this humongous burst of good songwriting, which happened in December of 2019, which was, say, like right before all this Corona stuff happened. A bunch of people in my family were sick, actually, so I had some time, and in that time I wrote a bunch of songs, and I really stood behind the songs. After that Christmas holiday, usually in my holidays I don't do anything with music, but that was totally different. And after that holiday I had, 12 or 11 songs, something like that, and I thought, if we would work through all these songs from start to finish and make them, they could all be great. I really stood behind the value of the songs, even though in that time I kind of wondered to myself, it's usually not like that. Usually we create 1.5 or twice as many songs as we publish, so I wonder how this will proceed. And in the end, we did. In the end, we dropped 7 of them, and because new ones wanted to be written, say in the last 4 months before the album released, which in a way made sense because as you work more and more on the album, especially this one where there were characters and things happening, the story kind of started to write itself. But at the end, the whole concept was so developed that new songs asked to be written because Victoria had become a person and she had a story and a life, and then new ideas for songs just arrived there on the table and said, I have to be written. And then the older songs didn't seem as relevant, even though they would have been fine songs. So yeah, so that was my favorite aspect of the whole project, was to me something that seemed magical, because I worked first with the writers, and I'll talk about that in a second, and then they gave me 5 very different, very incredibly amazing texts to work on the abstract album trailers. And I initially had no idea that I would create a concrete story for Victoria and give her an apartment and a boyfriend and a job and stuff. But at one point after I started working on the trailers, I thought it would be necessary. Somehow it seemed nice. I wanted to give her a life. She wasn't an amazing person. She was a very average person, and the story was essentially, you could call it like a childish, what do you call that? Yeah, like a childish enlightenment, or she had realizations, but she would have otherwise perhaps just been a relatively average, boring person who just lived and died as a secretary who read books, romance novels. But anyway, I enjoyed making a story for her, and that's then at one point the magic kicked in. It was like the story started to inspire the videos for the trailers, and then the trailers started to inspire the songs, and then the songs started to inspire the story, and then the story started to inspire the songs. So it became like this circular thing that I didn't have to even do anything anymore. It was telling me what to do in a way which was very cool. And for me, it was like, yeah, a little bit of magic. And It just, that all happened kind of at the end. So that was fun. And what I also thought was cool was to work with the writers, and I gave them essentially, at that point, everything was so abstract. There was no Victoria yet. That was very early on. They did that really at the beginning of 2020. I gave them all, I requested from them all something kind of broad and vague. Please write an abstract text about revolution or imprisonment or love, whatever that means to you. And that was fascinating to see how each text came back so differently, each one containing their writing styles and their personalities, and each one therefore also inspiring me totally differently in the trailers. And then, like I said, this all kind of toppled over like dominoes that inspired me to write an actual concrete story about Victoria herself. So I'm trying to think if I covered everything, but to me the whole project was fun and hard. I got kind of stressed out at the beginning about doing 5 full videos. 3 of the texts were quite long and beautiful and worth every word, but I am not a video maker, just a hobby video maker, so I was a little worried in the beginning of 2020 that I had committed myself to too much. But I did go through with it, and I learned a lot, and I'm happy with the results. I tend to like to put myself outside of my comfort zone, to go where it's hard, go where it hurts, go where you try to take chances. And I always try to do that, and I always want to keep trying to do that, even though it hurts. And this time it hurt too. But like I said, I'm happy with the result, and the writing hasn't stopped. I thought that after Pax Victoria I'd have a little bit of a rest, but the songs are coming. A couple of them would have worked totally on Pax Victoria, but at one point you just have to draw the line. But everything will have a new mood and a new vibe, and I have some new ideas. So that's how I'm going forward right now. But I wanted to stand still by this because I really poured a lot into this project, and under Hatchet as well. And yeah, I think it's fun to share this deeper information with you guys. So I hope you like it. So that was so far only 8 minutes. I'm pretty impressed. I don't know if I forgot something. Yeah, and just to say one more thing, that was all today. This 8 minutes or 10 minutes is all just about the concept and how it was built and how it transformed and kind of exploded at the end. If you would like me to do some kind of talk like this about the songs or about the construction of the music or something, I could do that. My whole initial idea that I mentioned on Twitter a few weeks ago about doing a music talk was nothing like this at all. I wanted to do it about music in general and have that be an interactive thing, but I still plan to do that, but I don't have time to organize all this stuff all at once. So this thing was calling out to me to do this first because I don't really have to prepare it. It's all in my head right now. Same thing with the songs. I could do some little 10-minute video about the songs of Pax Victoria, just talk about making them or how they came about or whatever. That could be fun. Just let me know. Just write a comment or something, or yeah. But anyway, just thanks for watching. I hope that you like Pax Victoria. I hope you like the album. I hope you like the idea. I hope it's inspiring, or that you can relate to this or learn from this, or yeah, just enjoy it. But so I'll see you soon.